Hey, we're back at the top again today on the road to Pokemon Sun and Moon, and we're back in the news yet again. So I thought we'd go back and look over a type and see what Generation 7 can do to improve on it. This is the 13th episode in the series, so if you haven't seen any of the others, you might need to go back. Today's type is the type you guys wanted to see the second most. I have my reasons. You'll understand why in a few weeks. It is the type that does not need to be buffed, as it needed a nerf in Generation 6, the Dragon type. Time to see how Pokemon Sun and Moon could improve this type. When you think of Dragon types, you think of heavy offense, and maybe some defense. Not too much defense, really. Not even utility dragons exist. They're all attackers. Sure, some people use defensive Hydreigon, but I don't see it that often. Usually you see them dropping Drake. Just hold on, we're going. Hey! Let me finish. Dropping Dracos. Don't assume things are Drake when they aren't. Regardless, we're not seeing any utility or defensive dragons in the metagame, or at least in the higher tiers. Speaking of defensive dragons, which ones are tanks? Goodra, sit down. I know you're the only one. You don't have to celebrate that. Other than you, Goodra, we don't have many tanky dragons. Sure, we can make them tanky, but then they perform a bit worse. If you know me, I prefer to run a certain tanky dragon, and I run it quite well. At least, that's just my opinion. I know we're all about that fast life, dragon dancing and whatnot, but let's take things slow and still pack a punch. What do you say? Okay, quickly, can someone list me all the dragon status moves? No, Goodra, mayonnaise is not a status move. I'm talking about Dragon Dance. Yup, look it up. Dragon Dance is the only dragon move that's a status move. I mean, I know it's kind of hard to think of many status moves for the dragon type, but it just won? After 6 generations? We'll get more status moves soon enough, just wait a few minutes. We move on to the possible new forms for the 7th generation, and keeping with the Generation 1 theme, the Alolan form we're looking at today is Alolan Dragonite. This design by Fatmon from DeviantArt seems to be the style that everyone is wanting. Perhaps the reason for this change is the tropical air kept Dragonite its blue color and changed its typing to Dragon Water. The ability I see it getting would be Marvel Scale or Hydration. This could be a real thing as well. The Alolan form, not the design, since Dragonite, along with Zubat, appear on the Japanese Sun and Moon site for some apparent reason. For the Mega Pokemon we could see in Pokemon Sun and Moon, that would be Mega Druddigon. I'm trying to buff Pokemon that are outclassed. If I just gave it a dragon such as Haxorus or Goodra, that would just be super unnecessary. I also could have said Flygon, but that's super obvious. Getting back to Druddigon, this design from Kaideka from DeviantArt I feel shows how tanky Mega Druddigon could be. It would keep the Mono Dragon type, keep rough skin, but become more of a tank than ever before. Be scared, elemental Pokemon, because look at these stats. I told you Mega Druddigon would be tanky. I've said tanky too much. So much that there's an army. And now that he can fly easier, he gets access to Roost. Haha! Good luck, Pokemon trainers. This will be it. What? Oh. They have an Alolan Ninetales. Well, that's just great. And it's that time yet again to look over the attacks the Dragon type could offer in Generation 7. Looking at all 3 categories as always, we'll be starting off with the physical attack called Draco Jet. Yes, I'm aware that this attack is already existing in Pokemon Zeta, Omicron, and Insurgents. However, if you look at these screenshots of Reddit threads, you can see that I actually suggested it. That's just a fun fact that I wanted to add, and I'm not using it as an ego boost. It's the Dragon type that we're boosting today, so back to that. Draco Jet is an attack where the user uses its mythical force to move at a blinding speed to tackle the opponent. This move has +2 priority, does 40 damage, and would be very interesting to see how it would play out in the metagame. Just look at Insurgences! However, the special attack now is Draco Flare, where the user summons a powerful flare from the sky. It is not fire, so it's unknown where this flare originates. This attack does 90 base damage with a 10% chance to burn the foe. And finally, we get to the status move. Can anybody name a status move that would be useful? No, Goodra, Horseradish is not a status move either. What I'm actually talking about is Miracle Charge, where the user powers up its mythical forces to boost its special attack and speed by 1 stage. So it's the special version of Dragon Dance. And here we go, everyone's favorite thing to speculate with. It's the concepts we could get in the new games. For new Pokemon, we are still missing a bug dragon type, as you can see here in this type chart that does not account for Megas, Legends, or Forms. Along with said type, the dragon type has also not been paired with the normal type, bar Drampa, the fighting type, the ghost type, the steel type, the fire type, the grass type, the electric type, the psychic type, the ice type, and the fairy type. Like I said, most of these are covered with the 3 exceptions, but never on a normal Pokemon. Not including a normal type either. Now, I already spoiled the typing of the first concept, so let's just jump right into it. This design from Smiley Fakemon from DeviantArt shows that dragonflies aren't the only bugs that can be dragons. Its stats actually are pretty tanky for a bug type, but offensive for a dragon type. It has that weird combination of offense and tankiness, although it does get better, as the attacks that this thing could use would be Dragon Pulse, Bug Buzz, Dragon Dance, Quiver Dance, and Giga Drain. Now this is a setup Pokemon to the max. This last concept is from MTC Studios from DeviantArt, showing that Ice Dragon should not be a type that's messed with. And this thing can throw wicked cold punch as well. It's our first pseudo-legendary in the series, as its base stats are sky high at 600. And with balanced offensive stats, you won't know which way this thing will charge you from. The moves I see it getting would be Ice Punch, Freeze Dry, Dragon Pulse, Outrage, and Barrier. So to match the theme of this video, I'll do the outro in a growling voice.
If you enjoyed, go ahead and drop dragons from the top below. And while you're there, go ahead and comment on how the dragon type should be improved on in Generation 7, and give me another type to improve. Also, subscribe if you want to join me on the hype train known as the Road to Pokemon Sun and Moon. I'll get you back at the top again later on, because that's how you do hot.
No, Goodra, that's a chorus line. Never slap your Pokemon. I should slap you. No, I'm gonna slap myself right now. Let's do that. Oh my gosh! Let's put it this way. I'm probably not gonna catch it because it's Ho-Oh. But whichever Pokemon
I caught Eevee.